rolling.
What up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. This podcast is available at allthingscomedy.com. Art19 used to be on SoundCloud. You can go there for old episodes, but all the episodes are on Art19. Video is available on YouTube at Ian Edwards, Ian Soccer Comic Rant Edwards, and it's also available on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Sound. What is that thing called? I forgot. The Spotify. It's on Spotify too somehow. And I want to thank producer Aaron Brungardt for hooking this up again. And sponsor is onthevolleyapparel.com. Go there and check out their array of hoodies, tanks, t-shirts, sweatshirts with soccer/hip-hop emblems on the front. And they have gear that's available for male and female. Use my promo code Comic Rant, get 20% off. And my guest today is Martin Polish Harris, actor, comic. You can see him in the movie The Hunt. He writes articles for the soccer magazine 442. And he's the voice of, what video game is that, Martin?
Call of Duty.
And he's doing more stuff.
Yeah, came out the online version last weekend with the character I did last year on the Modern Warfare. So look for Kruger. That's my character.
Kill Kruger. You get the game, kill Kruger dead. Just don't even ask no questions. I don't know how the game works to shoot Kruger in the forehead. And you win. What up, Marts?
Happy to have all the soccer back, and it's a lot of it. It's every day, so there's something to do in the mornings.
Yeah, right before this podcast, I just watched the Burnley Man City game, and some things in soccer never change. So it's great that the Black Lives Matter movement has moved from just isolated cities in America, where they're fighting for the civil rights of Black people, to all over the world. And now it's on the back of all the players' jersey, no matter what their nationality is in the Premier League. And that is dope. And everybody takes a knee before the game. But at the Burnley Man City game today, somebody flew a plane over the stadium that says, White Lives Matter, Burnley. And that is why Black Lives Matter. Because the reason why the Premier League agrees that Black Lives Matter is because they had trouble with racism in the Premiership and also with English international players. Even in qualifying for the Euros, they go to certain countries and the players get booed and there's monkey chants and people throwing bananas at them. They don't do that to white players. So they have to inform the ignorant public that Black Lives matters. It doesn't mean white lives or other lives doesn't. We're just trying to get Black lives up to the level of everybody else's Black lives. That's why the emphasis is on Black Lives Matter. So the fact that you don't have to fly a plane over the stadium of Burnley saying White Lives Matters, Burnley. We obviously know it matters because you can afford the money to fly a plane. You have the privilege and the finances to fly a plane over the stadium stating that. So that's obvious. So you don't have to say that. You're just trying to get Black lives and civility to that level. And and it's just so funny that there's nobody in the stadium, but the Black players are still getting bananas thrown at them symbolically in monkey chants from the sky. Like that's how strong racism is, and that's why we kneel before the games.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, but also I have a little bit of a different angle here. Unfortunately, because of we live in social media and people are staying at home, and a lot of people try to be famous for wrong reasons. And I think whoever decided to fly that plane wanted to create a distraction, wanted to be talked about. That's my opinion, you know. And it's obviously one, racist, two, incredibly stupid, three, unfortunately, part of that culture of people doing ridiculous things just to be talked about, you know. And people are talking about it. So in a way, he got what he wanted, but hopefully they will find out who that was, and that person will be eliminated from soccer for the rest of his life, her life, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
We have to
don't,
deal with people like that.
don't
100%.
assume the racist is a guy. Could be a woman.
Yeah.
We want to be equal opportunity here. We don't want to be sexist when we're talking about racist. You know what I mean? But yeah, I you know.
Because what's the logical reason of even doing a stunt like that? I mean, this is incredibly stupid. Incredibly stupid.
Because the person's racist. And you know, and probably want attention. Who knows? It's like, yeah, we know white lives matter. If you don't know that, you know, and that's a part of the problem. You know, it's like, if you don't know white lives matter, you know it does. You're just being facetious for facetious sake. You know, I can't go past the statement I've made because that's all I had. But white lives matter. Burnley, your team got crushed. Your team got crushed. What was it 5-0? I lost count
5
after
now.
5. Yeah. So yeah, apparently defense doesn't matter at Burnley. Apparently goalkeeper doesn't matter. Apparently that sign made your team not matter. It's like, Jesus, great. You know, next time you want to spend money on a flight, donate that money to Burnley so they can buy some defenders or a holding midfielder, or, you know, somebody, a player who cares to stop Man City, because it didn't look like your team mattered today. And, you know, I'm not shitting on Burnley, the team or the organization, because they responded sharply and quickly with a statement, you know, so condemning the flight of the plane. But come on, y'all. Come on.
Yeah, no. The only thing I wanted to add is that, and changing into more soccer related stuff, the way Man City looks, if that was the start of the season, if those were the first 2 games of new season, let's say, I would say they are my favorites to win the title. Obviously, they're not going to win the title, but they look fantastic.
Yeah, they look good against Arsenal, but they lost the defender, and that's their issue. Like, you know, Arsenal's problem is defenders, and if they lose, Man City's problem is defenders. If they lose defenders, then they're going to beat the teams they can beat, but there's teams they can't beat without those defenders. You know, so yeah, but you know, Man City's always deadly. You know, the last 2 seasons they won the league, and you know, this season they're not. But yeah, they're definitely the second best team in the league, and they look better than Liverpool, who played on the weekend and tied with Everton, and Liverpool was kind of like looking tired, and their system wasn't working as well as it did in the beginning of the season. So even when they didn't look good, they got results. But this weekend, they did not look that great, and they only got a point from not looking great. So I feel like Liverpool is coming into the season post hiatus, like still sluggish, and they I don't know. They said they had like a decent amount of shots. Let me see how many shots they had, but I didn't even see those shots. I'm like, when did those shots happen in the Liverpool game?
Yeah, they're in a
9 shots. I didn't see those.
Yeah, definitely. I think Everton was better in that game. By the way, there was a very nice piece on The Guardian about Carlo Ancelotti and his experience with racism and his thoughts about it. It was very, very, very good, well-written story.
Oh, what did he say?
I recommend it he shared his experiences from Italy. It's a long story, but it's a good read. I highly recommend it. And I think I sent you the link. I think Everton was better. I think they were organized. They had better chances. They almost scored twice. And with Liverpool, this is a weird situation where all they had to do was to show up for the rest of the season, because they're really not. There's no danger they're going to lose the title. They're going to win the title. They're not in the Champions League anymore, where the City, Guardiola still has a Champions League tournament in August, so they can use the rest of the season to kind of get going, and they got going right away, and to try to win the Champions League during this tournament they will play in August. So they're still in it. Where Liverpool, all they have to do is just show up for the next couple of games, win the title, and go for vacation and prepare for the next season. And it looks that way, that they're not 100% invested into playing their top level football, because they were clumsy. They kind of tried. Klopp played Minamino in the starting lineup, and it wasn't really the greatest move, because in the first half Minamino didn't really do much, and then he was substituted. So I think they'll be happy winning the title, but there's nothing else to play for them in this season.
Looks like we lost Ian.
Look like it.
Jeez.
I hope it's not because of any accusations.
No. I can't shut down Zoom yet.
Yeah, it has to be his internet, because the same thing happened last week, right?
Yeah.
No, here it.
Yeah. Could you say that again? Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
I have to log out and come back, because is there a way you can patch that together?
Yeah. What was the last
For
time?
audio, yeah.
All right. Yeah, you were telling me about why you thought Everton was better.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. For Liverpool, all they had to do is to show up and play a couple of games, win the title, and they have nothing else to play for. So that's the big win for Liverpool. They just had to show up, win the title. Where, for example, Man City, they still have the Champions League tournament to play in August, so they can use those games in those weeks and in those 2 months to be really prepared for the Champions League tournament and try to win the Champions League. And it's a different type of motivation, because they have something to look forward to, and that was their main goal this season anyway, because they won 2 titles in a row. So they still have their main prize to accomplish, and they have a chance to do it. Where the main prize for Liverpool is to win the title, and they will. The only chance for them losing the title was if the season got canceled, and the season didn't get canceled. And it looks like they're not 100% invested in the game. It didn't look like that against Everton, that they were like so determined, so hungry, because I think they know that they'll pretty much win the title, and then the next season begins, and there'll be new challenges, and that's it.
I mean, I think it's a good point what you're saying, but I also thought when I saw the schedule, and I said this last week, that it'll take at least 3 games for Liverpool to win this title. Like Everton with Ancelotti, the best coach they ever had in the history of the team, and it being a derby, and derbies change. Like Man United beats Man City in derbies, and Man City is completely better. It's a derby, so at least they got a point out of it. But I think they can win their next 2 games. And that's all I have to say about that. I think
they play Crystal Palace and they have a chance to win, but I think the next game they'll play the City, as I remember. Correct.
So they still have to play City. Let me see. Let me go back up here.
And of course, City won't stop them from winning the title, but they can beat them just to prove a point. They can just make it, a showdown. Because the truth is, City, yeah, sure, you mentioned, and I agree with you, that they had problems with finding the right combination of defenders to start for them. But they also had really bad luck with injuries before, where now they're healthy.
But their injuries are defensive. They're injury-free, but they just lost defenders again,
Yeah.
So the thing is, just trying to see Liverpool's next matches. Damn thing won't show it to me. Liverpool's lineup stats
Thursday,
related.
July 2nd, Man City, Liverpool. So they have to go to Man City.
So it'll be crazy if they win the title there. It's going to be won and lost there, because you're going to go to the first team that stopped you from winning it the year before. And are they playing at City or City playing?
At City. I think it will be difficult for Liverpool to
yeah, it's going to be difficult, but
yeah.
But if they've ever been motivated to do something, it's there, because you need a Man City loss to win the title. And this is it. This is the place. This is the moment.
Yeah, because even if they beat Crystal Palace in the next game, it doesn't guarantee them the title yet. But if they win against Crystal Palace,
if they beat Man City, it completely guarantees them the title, right?
100%. They can win the title right there. Yes.
Right. So then that's exciting and that's dope. So yeah. And why would they want to prolong this thing? So that's that match, for the reasons that you mentioned, because Man City's like, tuning up for Champions League, and Liverpool wants to win the title. That makes for a great match. So can't wait to see that shit.
Yeah, and I like what Guardiola is doing, because he was playing different lineups in those two games, and they're both of the lineups were very effective. Actually, I've heard a lot about Foden, and I've seen glimpses. Right. But I feel like in the last two games, especially today, he really showed a lot of promise. I think he's really a special player. And finally, he got a chance to show that, because De Bruyne started on the bench. And De Bruyne is clearly the best midfielder they have still, and probably the best player in the league overall. So Foden got some chance. Even I was surprised seeing Sané, especially after what I read about Sané and him, declining new contract, wanting to leave. He made it clear that he wants to be gone after this season. And Guardiola even said that, I like him personally, and he's a great footballer, but if he doesn't want to be here, then we understand. So, So the fact that he got a chance to play at the end of the game today was surprising to me. But at the same time, he's still collecting wages from City, and pretty substantial wages. So
he's a really good footballer, so he should play.
He's an asset for sure.
Yeah, and Foden, like you said, I agree with you. I've seen the glimpses, but I didn't really believe anything. Like, he scored a goal at the end of the game the other day, but then he scored two today that were like really good takes. Especially the first one showed me, oh, okay, this guy has something. Then the second goal, that wasn't an easy goal, but like a lot of people pull back on that type of shot and try to change the angle and go for something else. But when somebody does something that they're supposed to do, then oh, there's the quality, because players don't always do the things they're supposed to do. Sometimes players surprise you and do things you didn't even see, but sometimes it's hard to do the things you're supposed to do. And Foden showed that today in this game. And I think he had like a half of an assist. He had an assist to the guy who assisted on one of the goals. So yeah, I like what I saw of Phil Foden today.
Yeah, and I like there was a situation after he scored a goal that he was still yelling at his teammates, and he's the youngest guy on the field. So that shows you that he's got some edge and character, which is a good thing to have when you can be the future star. It kind of shows the type of personality you need probably to be technically one of the best players on the team, on a very strong Premier League team. Let's see what they're gonna do with him. If they keep him and he will play more, he will become like important part of the team, or they will loan him for 1 year where he can reach his full potential, maybe be the best player on, let's say, a team like Burnley or the team like Newcastle.
You think he's going to go to Burnley after what they just burned Burnley to the ground? There's no way he's going to Burnley. I think this is David Silva's last year, right?
Yeah.
So that's who he's going to replace. They definitely need him. You're not going to find a David Silva anyway, much less a player who, if you do find somebody outside of this system who's like David Silva, it's going to take that person time to acclimate. And then you have this kid who's been growing up under David Silva, who's thriving now. David Silva's gone. You slide him right in there. Why even try to get someone when you have a kid? Yeah. Mahrez's goal was pretty dope. It was an amazing goal, but it's like it's the goal that Mahrez tries to score all the time but fails to score, and he only scores it sometimes. So you just need either more delivery and finishing like that from Mahrez trying to score that type of goal, or just him taking and scoring simpler goals. I think Mahrez is always going for the spectacular. That's why he doesn't always completely fit into this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, however, of course, I mean, when he led Leicester to the title, being arguably their best player, between him and Vardy, they were two best players. And
Conte, yeah.
Yeah, but he was like he scored the very important goals, and he was probably the most technical, the most effective player in terms of you really like to watch him in those games. He was like the thing you like to watch on this Leicester team, where most of the strength of that team was just being a unit, being a compact unit, So when he went to the City, I think some people were a little bit disappointed that he didn't have the same type of impact. But, having so many big-time players around him, it's difficult to have an impact the way he had it on Leicester. And I think in this season, he was a little bit under the radar. Very effective player for the City. I think he could be one of the best players for City this season, overall. Maybe even number 2 after De Bruyne.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I think...
I need to check his stats.
Yeah. I think next season he will have a better season. It took him a while to get comfortable over here, and sometimes he tried too hard and made things difficult for himself. And maybe by next year, this is a better season than his first season, but maybe by next season, he'll completely feel relaxed and get it,
So he's got 9 goals this season. It's not bad.
That's not great. I mean, for that, how much did they pay for him? 9 goals.
He had 17 goals on the title team, winning title team.
PL goals or goals for across the board?
PL goals.
19?
17 for the Leicester team that won a title, and he had 7 in his first season with City, and he has 9 so far this season.
And how many Premier League goals did he have last season?
7.
7?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this season's better for sure. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he gets more comfortable next season. How old is he?
I think he could be 29. 29.
29, yeah. So, we'll see what Mahrez got. Trying to think of what you want to do. Arsenal, Man U game?
Arsenal, both Arsenal games. I want to talk about Arsenal for sure.
Well, Man U Spurs game. Let's talk that.
Game? Sure.
Yeah. And we'll talk both Arsenal games afterwards, yeah, for sure. I felt like Man United kind of dominated, but we ran into the thing where, I had a feeling Mourinho was going to park the bus. Mm-hmm. And the last time we played, we parked the bus, he attacked, and we countered and we won. So I had a feeling that he didn't want that to happen to him again. So he definitely did that. And we had a tough time breaking them down. And then they got a break on us, or you guys got a break on us, and you scored and went up 1. And then we turned up the pressure. But then putting Igalo, Greenwood, and definitely Pogba, who you say the player of the game was Sissoko for you. Mm-hmm. But after Pogba came on the field, he became the player of the game. And then you always see Pogba's skill, and a part of that skill he used to beat Dyer in the penalty box and earn a penalty. But the extra desire in trying to win back the ball is what you don't see, and what Man United fans miss from him. he added some Bruno to his game. Like Bruno will fight. He's very emotional and he wants to win, and you see him fighting for the balls. It's not just the finesse stuff. And then that tackle on Sissoko where he slid to the ground and then got up with the ball. I was like, oh, this is a different attitude. Like, this is the type of attitude Pogba you want, the ferocious Pogba. You know what I mean? The one that's not only going to, like, show us the type of skill he's got, but he's going to try to win balls back. You know what I mean? And be dominant. Like, so, yeah, that was great to see that type of Pogba. And, yeah, he just showed how outstanding he was. He won the penalty, and I wasn't worried about the penalty being scored like I was at the beginning of the season. Like, I knew that, you know, Fernandes was our penalty taker now, and there's confidence in that, and he put it away. And we created more chances. We just couldn't put them away.
Yeah, I think in the first half, Spurs were slightly better. And we had chances to score for actually the second goal. It was a great save from De Gea on the header from Sam. That was a really good header and was a really good play, and should have been 2-0, and the game would be different after 2-0. I mean, listen. Here's what Mourinho did. He did his homework. He saw that United preferred to play counter-attacking football. They usually played very good games against top teams, and they were sort of struggling against mid-table or even lower teams. They had a problem with positional attacking and creating chances. However, with additional Fernandes, that got solved a little bit, or a lot. It got better because you had, what's his name, before Fernandes, the guy who didn't have assists in 2 years. Lingard, yeah. So Lingard played in that position before, and that's a huge difference.
Oh, Mata, yeah.
Yeah, so you know, like even before it was even more. Pretty much, if you defend against United, they're not gonna break you. That was the case before Fernandes. Now it's a little bit more complicated, but he still thought that will be the best scenario. And to be quite honest with you, we don't know if Eric Dyer didn't make a mistake. Pretty much, Pogba took full advantage of his naivety in this situation. Maybe who knows? Maybe the Spurs would have won 1-0. However, I think the result is the fair result. I think there were chances for the Spurs to score second goal. Then in the second half, United were much better. And from the moment Pogba came on, I think two things happened. First of all, those who are writing conspiracy theories, even recently, that Pogba will never play another game for United, that he will boycott Premier League games if he's still on United. Those people were wrong. People who said that if he will come on, he will not care, those people were wrong either, because he came on and he made a difference, and that's a very positive kind of glimpse of the nearest future for the United. That means if those two can play together and stay together, you have something to build on.
Yeah. What I really liked about the game is, like, before the game started and they announced our starting lineup, and then they showed our bench, and they're like, we haven't had a bench this deep and this good in so long. This is what was on our bench. Paul Pogba. And I'm going to skip names. I'm going to skip Juan Mata. I'm going to skip Lingard. Sergio Romero, I'm not going to skip. We had Igalo on the bench. Mason Greenwood. Matic was on the bench. And Brendan Williams. So we're deep. We're ready for this. But I suggest we start Pogba in these other games, get these goals early. You know what I mean? Get these goals early. And then if you want to start benching some people and resting some people, like, we're playing Sheffield next. We can't afford to, like, wait till the last minute of the game to win it or tie them. We have to, like, jump on Sheffield and break them down and get ahead of them, and then defend and then beat them on the break. You know, we can't afford to like box the ball around. Like, how much possession did we have on you guys? I'm going to find the possession.
I'm pretty sure you had like...
We had 63. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We don't want to just hold the ball and not do nothing with it. With Pogba and Bruno on the field, we want to, like, do some damage to Sheffield and let them know what the real level is. I'm
By the-
surprised Sheffield got beat so bad by Newcastle 3-0. It was pretty impressive. But then when I looked at the Newcastle lineup, I was like, that's a pretty offensive lineup. Like Newcastle got some players.
Yeah, they even got Danny Rose from us on
Yeah.
a long loan. Here's one thing about Sheffield that is, I think, very important. First of all, this is a very important game for you guys because if the City appeal will not be positive for City, 5th place guarantees Champions League football, and
Yeah.
from the way it's looking, it looks like Sheffield United might be your biggest competition. Maybe Wolverhampton. I don't think Arsenal will be, and I don't think, unfortunately, that Spurs will be. And I don't think you can catch Chelsea because Chelsea looks really good, and I think they'll hold on to their place. And the difference, it's just too much point difference between Chelsea and you guys. So I don't think you can catch Chelsea. However, you never know. But I just don't think so. The Sheffield game is important for 2 reasons. Like Sheffield United, even if technically they're not strong enough to even think about Champions League, they have a chance.
Yeah.
There's the second thing that leads to your goalkeeping situation, because De Gea, unfortunately, and Roy Keane had very strong words to say about him after the game. He doesn't have a good season, and last season he also didn't have a good season. Yeah, he made that save against Son, but I think the Bergwijn goal, it's clearly his fault. He should have saved that goal. Now, Sheffield United have arguably the best goalkeeper of the season, and he's your goalkeeper. He won't be able to play against United because that's the deal. That's the loan deal that he can't play against United. So it's a major disadvantage for Sheffield United in the game against Man U, because Henderson, number of saves and number of clean sheets, he's number 1 in the Premier League this season. So
I kind of want him to play after he let 3 goals in against Newcastle. I'm like, can we get that version of Henderson? I love that. Shit. That might be a disadvantage of us not having him.
The point I'm trying to make is maybe he'll be your goalkeeper next season. You can let De Gea go. I don't know.
Well, we can at least bring him back and then have them there and let's figure this out. But De Gea has made mistakes and he kind of knows, he did some stuff 2 years ago that was so great. He was considered the number 1 goalkeeper in the world. Mm-hmm. And it's just tough to stop thinking of someone you thought so highly in that way, even though they're making mistakes that tell you that this person is not the person they used to be. It's like being in a relationship. It starts out so great that when the person you're in love with starts messing up, you kind of like overlook it. But who that person was when you first met them was who they was, and who they are now that they're fucking up is who they are now, and you have to accept that. And De Gea has made some huge mistakes, he's made some huge mistakes. But there's a debate between him and Henderson, but I'm still not sure Henderson is the answer. And it might be some type of like racism, like that's ingrained or branded in me, where you always think the foreign player is better than the English player. Like De Gea just seems like he looks like a goalkeeper on the outside. Like the shell case in the box, you take him out the box, he stands there. I was like, oh, that's a goalkeeper. That's what they should look like. And Henderson looks like a goalkeeper, but he looks like he's coming into being a goalkeeper. So I'm not sure.
He's young. He's a young goalkeeper. He's 23.
Yeah, and then I don't know how it's one thing to be a goalkeeper for Sheffield United, but it's another thing to be a goalkeeper for Man United. So there are those things. And then what do you do with Romero? You know what I mean? Because he's solid. He's probably better than De Gea now, because he doesn't play as much, but when I see him play, he doesn't make the mistakes that De Gea makes. So we have good problems.
Yeah, he's a one goalkeeper for Argentina. He plays Argentina national team. Without playing for United, he's still number 1 goalkeeper for Argentina.
Yeah, when he plays good. But then again, he's not playing against the level of competition De Gea is playing against. But you sometimes when you look at a player, you can tell if they're good or not, no matter where they're playing. And Romero looks good. What Roy Keane said was fucking hilarious. He said, "I'll swing punches at him if you." That is hilarious. That's how angry he was, and I get it. You know.
At both, we have to add at both Henderson and both De Gea and Maguire, because the truth is Maguire didn't really play very well in that particular moment as well. Pretty much Bergwijn ran past him. He just ran past him. Yeah.
Like De Gea was trying to, you know, when you try to force the attacker to go wide, but you can't turn wide and show them wide when they have all the middle behind you open. So it's like you can't, he's like, look, he's facing Bergwijn and they're distance apart from each other, and Bergwijn has all the opportunity to not go wide. So why are you turning to the outside so soon? Like Bergwijn just cut in and just went behind him easily. And it's like, Maguire, what are you doing? This is amateur defending.
Yeah, and I'm not impressed with Maguire at all this season.
No, he's not, like I always said, man, he's not.
Lindelof, I think, has a better season, yeah.
He's not worth the £80 million. Lindelof is having a better season because we didn't pay the amount of money we paid for Lindelof that we paid for Maguire, you know? Like Lindelof doesn't even have to have a better season. All we know is that he doesn't cost as much as Maguire. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but yeah, Maguire got played on that one. But I like our bench. I'm glad we got a point. I'll take it. And if we beat Sheffield next week, I'll feel way better because it's a 6-point swing. They're the next team behind us. They have a game in hand, and we'll be taking that game away from them. So
it's Wednesday. It's a
Wednesday. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so used to it being next week, but it's Wednesday. Yeah, but we have to win that game, and we have to start Pogba and Fernandes, and we have to go at these motherfuckers. Period.
Yeah. I'm still the one thing, and I actually spoke to a couple of people about it. I think Tony Hendricks was the one. We talked about it a lot. I think you still didn't fully solve your center forward situation, and we talked about it before. Martial had so many chances over the last couple of years, and it doesn't feel like he's the guy to be your striker. I think for a team like Man U, you need someone at Lewandowski, maybe not Lewandowski's level, but Lewandowski's type of a player, just a finisher. And you have guys like Rashford, Fernandes, and Pogba around that guy, but you need like a center forward, and I don't think Martial is that guy.
It's weird. You know why it's weird? Because there's rumors that we might get Havertz. And if that's true, even if we get Havertz, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because we have Mason who could become a Havertz. So getting Havertz, they definitely play him first and inhibit like the timing. And then if you don't get Havertz and you wait for Mason, like you have to watch him grow into this thing. And that's going to take like another year or two, which we don't have. You know what I mean? If we wait, I'm sure Mason Greenwood will be the answer. But can we wait? So we're in this predicament where, you know, it's not like we have this striker that's killing the game, but he's getting older, but he has 1 or 2 years left in him. So you can have Mason Greenwood grow behind him. You know, we have, and then I don't want to shit on Martial too much. This is weird. We just got back. He didn't put away his chances, but by the next game, he might be back in tune again. Before the season ended prematurely, he was doing fine. And then before that, he was playing without his backup partners. You know what I mean? Like there was no Pogba. Like Bruno came in January. Rashford was injured. Like who was feeding him? You know this team has trouble getting the ball through. So you know, I'm not gonna. I say we it might be dangerous to wait a little bit, but we kind of should, because Mason Greenwood, I think, might be the answer, but you have to play him to find out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you guys obviously have a long tradition of having very, very good center forwards. Van Nistelrooy, Dwight York, those type of guys. I don't think Martial is that type of a guy. I think he does a lot of things good, but he's not an exceptional finisher. And I think for the team to win the league in the nearest future, you would need an exceptional finisher on top of what you already have. Like the top Andy Cole, like the top York or Van Nistelrooy.
I think he's frozen again.
Yep. The accusations came through.
If this helps. Nope. I put him in the waiting room, but that didn't work. He's out. There he goes.
Oh, he's back in.
Sorry, guys. Whenever I don't want to hear Martin talk, the internet just acts up for me. So what were you saying that I didn't want to hear that now I got to hear again, Martin?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Obviously, you have a long history of having exceptional finishers, starting from guys like Andy Cole, Dwight York. I mean, even before that, Eric Cantona.
Yeah.
And then you had Rooney and of course Van Nistelrooy. I think, and Van Persie, when you won the title for the last time, you had Van Persie, who was still a very good player at the time. Well, my point is you need someone like that to compete for the league title in the future. I don't think Martial is the answer because he's an overall good player, but he can be on the wing. He can be, he's like a versatile player to be in a rotation possibly, but he's not a typical finisher like someone like Lewandowski, someone like Aguero, like you need someone like that, I think.
Let me see how old Anthony Martial is.
I don't think he's that old. I think he's 25, something like that. 24 maybe.
Yeah, it's about time though, that age. Yeah, he's 24. Like next year he has to like deliver consistently, but he's not doing bad this year, man.
No, he's not doing bad. I'm just saying he's good, but he's not the answer as your number one center forward on a championship team. I don't think he is.
I mean, the thing is, if we have like three guys up there and he contributes, listen, we'll see. We need to get a 10 who can distribute to him on a regular basis. And we're just starting to figure it out now. We got one in January. Now Pogba's better. You need to see like how the rest of this plays out. What were you going to say about Arsenal? You want to go to Arsenal? And
well, I will start with the point that I was making in the last couple of weeks that they made a huge mistake, and I still don't understand why they did that. Not hiring Patrick Vieira after Arsene Wenger, and it bites them back in the ass. Even right now, I mean, Arteta had a good career at Arsenal, but not even close to the level that Patrick Vieira had. He wasn't even close to the level Patrick Vieira had as a player. Not even close. Solid player, good Premier League player, but Patrick Vieira was the captain of the team that was one of the best teams in the history of the league. And Patrick Vieira also another upper hand over Arteta. He coached the team, and he he was good in it in New York, and now he's doing very well in France. He's the symbol of great times for Arsenal. He's the symbol. You do everything you can to have that guy on board. And instead, because he spent the latter stages of his career at City, he's more connected to the city than Arsenal now, and that's a huge mistake by Arsenal. And I think they made a bad decision with hiring Arteta. It was too soon for Arteta for that job, especially in a transitional situation. And Arsenal are a complete mess. They're absolutely horrible in both games, and they deserve what they deserve. You know, they tried to fight off the pitch after the game was finished against Brighton. Too bad they didn't show that much courage, and too bad they didn't show that much character during the game.
Arsenal has a lot of problems. We all know what the problems are. The problems they have now are the problems they had last year. So a coach last year couldn't fix it, and he wasn't a bad coach. What he did wrong was buy the wrong people, or he let the organization buy the wrong people. You don't need another attacker. You know, you need to fix your defense, and you need to fix your central holding midfield position. I get two good people. Now, I like the way they started this. You know, Man City. Did you expect Arsenal to beat Man City? No. Did I expect them to beat Brighton Hove? Yes. When they came out on fire against Brighton Hove, they created some chances. They cut through them like they was butter. They didn't put their chances away. And Brighton Hove, you know, scores a goal. And then at the end of the game, the player who injured their goalkeeper scores another goal. And, you know, it's just they're like Arsenal been having the bad luck of 2020 since 2018 or before that. You know what I mean? They're you know, I think Vieira would have worked. I think Arteta will work. But you have to get the right players. They clearly don't. Like Ozil is on the bench. He ain't even starting. That means they don't need another creative person. You know what I mean? Like they got Pepe. They just got all these attacking flair players. No defense whatsoever. Defenders can't defend. It's like putting out a starting 11 starting forwards or 10 starting forwards. It's just not going to work for anybody who's coaching that team. They have some bright spots like Guendouzi and Sacco. Sacco's like fucking amazing, fearless, skillful as hell, and makes the right decisions. Like he rattled a post early in the game. Like that kid, like I wish he was a Man U player. That kid's gone. He's going to be great. You know, they just have to fix the rest of the team around him and Guendouzi. And your boy David Luiz messing up in the first game, getting a red.
Never my boy.
Yeah, your boy getting a yellow card, letting a ball pass him that shouldn't have passed him in the Man City game, and then fouling. Who did he foul? Was it Sterling? Somebody or Mahrez? Mahrez. Yeah. And then giving up the penalty and then getting sent off. It's like, you know, I guess enough has been said about that. But I was listening to some woman, and she was talking about Arsenal. She was very, very good too. I just can't remember her name. And it was on like Talk Sports in England. And she's like, David Luiz makes the same mistakes every week. He never seems to learn from his mistakes. And that's an accurate description of David Luiz. You know, like he just doesn't learn from his mistakes. It's like you can always expect him to make the same mistakes every game. It's just that half the games he's going to get punished for them by a goal, and sometimes he won't. But he's never 100% on from the blowing of the whistle to start the game to the blowing of the whistle to end the game. Like he's going to be like, what am I in the supermarket for again? He's not going to remember the shopping list. He's going to come home without something.
Yeah, beloved teammate. Apparently, from what I heard, very, very nice guy. Everybody likes him. But he makes mistakes. I mean, he had some good moments at Chelsea. I think when they won the title, he had some good moments at Paris Saint-Germain. Arguably overrated throughout his career. Arguably, he's not a defender. Some people say he should play as a holding midfielder.
Yes.
Because he can play the ball. He can.
Yeah.
Technically, he's not bad at all. I mean, technically, he's not bad at all. He just doesn't act like a defender. He doesn't have the instincts of a defender often. You know?
Right. I think his curse is that he's being played out of position. Like, you know, Pirlo, he couldn't move a lot. And Scholes, when they got older, so you give him the central midfielder position, you know, so that they can maximize whatever mobility they have left and you maximize the skill that they have. And I just think David Luiz doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to work like he's just trying to break into the league. He don't want to bust his ass. He hopes like the ball will bounce his way so he doesn't have to put that extra effort in. And that's his issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
but Arsenal, they have more. They have more issues. I saw the stat.
yeah.
Except of Aubameyang, nobody scored more than 5 goals this season for them. So they also the scoring from midfield and creativity from midfield is a problem. Pepe, he scored a nice goal in this game, but there were a lot of games he wasn't effective at all this season. A lot of games. And Martinelli was playing well before the pandemic. I don't know what happened that he didn't play those 2 games.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with Martinelli. If you play Martinelli, you hurt Lacazette. Like, just play Lacazette. Stop putting him in, taking him out, putting him in, taking him out. Just play him. If you play Lacazette, he'll get results. If he doesn't score, he'll assist to Aubameyang. But just like, you're adjusting parts of the team you don't need to adjust. The shit you need to adjust is your CDM and your defense. Like, and then adjusting who's going to play in those attacking positions and like keep on changing those positions does not help you backwards, you know, and that's where the issue is. And you have an Ozil sitting on the bench. Like, it's crazy the offense they have over there with no defense. It's such an imbalance. The most unbalanced team in football right now, period.
Yeah, and they don't look good, and I don't see what Arteta is trying to do, to be quite honest with you. I was trying to figure out what's his identity he wants to imply on that team, and I don't see any. So,
well, it was working before the break. It was working. Like, I saw everybody playing 100%. The last few games, the crowds was like applauding. They even applauded Ozil, who they never applauded for effort. So shit was working. So I don't know what happened. Like, this break is not helping them so far. So we'll see. So I didn't want to watch this game, but I had to watch this game because I wanted to see this one player. Like, West Ham is like, and Wolves I worry about because they're also close to Man U in the table. But the reason why I had to watch this game is because I wanted to see Traoré, you know? I was like, suppose I don't watch this game and he does some magical shit, then I'm going to regret seeing him do it live. And then I watched the game and he's not even in. He's on the bench. Good thing is, because of the quarantine, his hairdresser wasn't able to come out, so his ridiculous braids are gone. So he just has a natural afro, which is way better. It's like, why do you're in a Premiership and you have the hairstyle of a WNBA player? It's like, hey man, you don't need extensions. You know what I'm saying? But then the game is 0-0 and they put Traoré in. Like, he's one of the game changers in the league. Him, Saint Maximum, and from Newcastle, and also if you count Pogba coming off the bench, game changers in the league. Like, it's like, but Traoré, man, it's like.
Or Lucas Moura for us when he plays. Now he's injured, but when he plays and he comes off the bench, he can change the game too.
Not all the time. You said for Spurs?
Yeah, Lucas Moura. Yeah, he can change. He changed games. He changed the game.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. Trust me, I like him. But I'm not sure I'm putting him in that category. But I like him. But yeah, Traore's had as soon as he came on, nobody on that team could contain him. He had a warning cross at first that nobody got their head on, but the second cross, he just drifted wide of everybody. Perfect amount of pace, perfect amount of cross, boom. And then he got a half of an assist for passing the ball to Doherty, I think, who crossed in the ball for that laser contact for the second goal of Wolves. Just Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you, Wolves, that's a pretty good team. Can they finish fifth? Why not? I mean, they're a pretty good team. They're balanced. They have their center forward, and as a matter of fact, it's kind of funny that he's not mentioned enough. He already has a better Premier League season than Chicharito ever had.
One more time.
Yes, sir.
Jeez.
I'm back.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It's my Wi-Fi, guys. I got to get something fixed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But go ahead.
Okay, so Jimenez, people don't talk about him enough, and he already this season has a better season than Chicharito, another Mexican player, ever had. So you can tell that Chicharito was a little bit overhyped. If he was overhyped, I think Jimenez is underhyped.
Yes, yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, Jimenez is the truth. And do you think he could do this on another team, like on a better team?
Why not? That's a pretty good team already. I mean, the Wolves are a pretty good team.
Yeah, but it's like there's no pressure. This is all bonus. You know what I mean? Like you go to a bigger team, we want stuff from you. Like now, these are just grateful fans, you know? So, but I think he's solid.
However, there is a little bit of a pressure because of the season they had last year. They are considered one of the better teams in the Premier League. They're considered at least, in those positions between 5 and 7. They're considered to be there.
And that's where they are. You know?
Yeah,
they're still there. But Wolves, dangerous team. We faced them. I think we don't have to play them again this season, thank God. And I think the last 2 times were like draws, and I was like, thank God. And we had to contain Traoré, and he didn't score on us. And I was like, that's as long as Traoré don't score, even though we got 0-0s, to me, other people might have said we should have beat Wolves. I was like, no, we just don't need to lose to them. So I'm happy with that.
And they have all bunch of because of the connection with Mendes, they have a bunch of pretty talented Portuguese players, and the second goal from this youngster.
Neto.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. Fucking Jesus. A shiny shilling of a goal, man. Just goddamn. Yeah. It's like you see that type of thing streak across the sky at nighttime. That was like a falling star type of shot. You wish on those type of things. What about Chelsea, Aston Villa?
Well, Villa are kind of lucky that there's West Ham and Bournemouth in the league, because other than that, I would say they're done. But West Ham is so bad, and because Bournemouth is even worse, probably they still have a chance to stay in the league somehow. I mean, right. Chelsea pretty much outplayed them in the second half, and Pulisic got a good goal. That's
I think Chelsea jumped on them early, created chances, didn't put any of them in. And let me see. Let me make sure my memory is correct. Yeah, Villa scored first, but then as soon as the second half started and Lampard made some changes, Christian Pulisic and then Oliver Giroud got that shot deflection, which you got to give it to him. And but like you said, Aston Villa are in 19th. They have 26 points, but right above them are Bournemouth and West Ham. And I know they could just climb above these 2 teams. Like, it's crazy to think that Eddie Howe might go down, but it's just this has been happening for the last 2 seasons, and Bournemouth might go down.
They might go down. I didn't see the game because it was on some extra channel.
Right.
I saw bits of it, but I saw Jack Wilshere warming up for Bournemouth. That was a surprising view. So he's still in the league. So.
He was warming up for Bournemouth or West Ham?
Bournemouth. Oh
Bournemouth.
no, West Ham. Sorry, West Ham. Well, yeah, he was warming for West Ham. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both like, West Ham is just like, it's just, I would hate to be a West Ham fan. It's just like a complete, it's like, what am I watching here? You know what I mean? It's like, they might as well, all the players have on different jerseys on that team, because they don't play like they're all wearing the same jersey. I don't know what the fuck is going on over there. It's like, yeah, it's so discombobulated, and I don't know what's going on. Like, what's his name? Felipe Anderson does not try hard. He does not try hard. He does not dig in. I'm not seeing any desire from him. Like £60 million? That's crazy, man. You have to dig in. You got to, like, bust your ass, bro. It can't just be like cute dinks. You got to do something, man. That's a lot of money they put on you. It's like West Ham just spent money in all the wrong places, from the stadium to the players. It's not like they're a team that doesn't want to spend money and try to get better. It's like there's an art to buying players, man. There's an art that cannot be overlooked. There's an art, man. You cannot just have money or you'll blow that shit. Like, Aston Villa spent the second most money in the league this season, and they did not get the players they want. Say again?
You mean West Ham?
Now, I think Aston Villa is the only team that spent more money than Manchester United, but I could be wrong. But I'm just jumping. I'm like, because Aston Villa is at the bottom, and before their game, they were talking about how much money Aston Villa spent to, like, on players for the Premiership. And I spoke to Lloyd about it, and he said, yeah, it's like they're not getting the bang for their buck. They also did get rid of like 13 players. And Aston Villa
really changed the team. The team that advanced, they only kept Grealish pretty much from that team. I mean, they still have a chance. They have some tough games coming up, and where Norwich, I think that was just crazy what I've seen from Norwich. They didn't even try, and that was so embarrassing. Such an embarrassing performance against Southampton. I mean, Norwich, I think the players are upset they had to come back from vacation. What it looked like to me. You know?
That's hilarious.
They would rather be on other teams, and they have to finish the season somehow.
Hilarious. Well, I know 2 of their players are definitely going to be on other teams in the Premiership after this, so it's all good. The thing about Villa is McGinn, even though he's fit, he's not in the game yet. Like, I'm not seeing the McGinn that I saw on Villa before he's injured. So even though he's on the field, he's a shell of himself, because he got injured. He had a season-ending injury. Then there's the COVID break, and now he's back, and he hasn't played since before the COVID break, and he just doesn't look. And then another thing, I was talking to Lloyd about Villa's issue, is like Jack is supposed to be playing like in a 10 position, in a Firmino position, but Dean has him playing back. So he can't go forward enough and generate like an attack. And then Lloyd is saying that their wingers suck. El Ghazi, and I forgot the name of the other guy. And it's just like, yeah, so fuck it. So we got like 2 games tomorrow. You want to talk about those? Let me see. What's the games tomorrow?
Leicester at 10, I think. And there is a Spurs game.
Yeah. Leicester versus Brighton. And Brighton's just coming off a win against Arsenal. And then Leicester. I think Leicester should be able to beat them. I think what do you think about the home field advantage? There's no advantage really, right?
No advantage. You can tell about teams that are well supported but not that good football wise, like Norwich or Aston Villa. You could tell that that's hurting them, because Norwich won a couple of games at home when they still had their fans, based on the sport, I guess, in partially at least.
Mm-hmm.
And just football wise, they're not very good. So when they play without fans at home, it's almost like they lose half of their value.
Right.
So I think with the teams like Aston Villa, Norwich, Bournemouth, another well-supported team, that makes a big difference. But when you're Man City, I don't think that makes that much of a difference.
Right. I think, like, when you're those teams that you just mentioned, like Bournemouth and stuff, it's like you suck anyway, right? You suck anyway, but the home fans give you a boost. So maybe you'll be able to get a tie when you would lose, or you might be able to get a win when you're supposed to win. But now, without any of that, you might lose when you're supposed to win because you don't have that boost at all. And then you're definitely going to lose when you're supposed to lose. You know, it's like your advantage is gone, even if it wasn't that much. Do you guys think you could beat West Ham? Like, West Ham is terrible, bro. If you don't beat them, say what?
We have to beat them.
What if you don't beat them tomorrow? That's
I mean, you know, it's funny enough that they are actually, for whatever reasons, they were the one team in the league that was always causing us problems. West Ham. When we lost the title to Leicester, I think the game that was a crucial game we lost was against West Ham. And then the next season, I think it was again against West Ham, we lost points. So West Ham is our Achilles heel. But I think right now they're so bad that we should beat them. Yeah.
Listen, I think West Ham gave us trouble, Man U trouble, when Mourinho was coaching them. So, and they gave us trouble when Solskjaer's coaching us. So they kind of are Achilles too. Like, they're one of the teams that when they beat you, it hurts because you know you should fucking beat them. Like, how the fuck did West Ham beat us? They had such a bad run, and then they just beat us. So if they beat you tomorrow, it's gonna hurt extra. So you guys better get your shit together.
But the reason I don't think they will, it's because in the game that I've watched against the Wolves, they seem like there's no spirit on the team. You know, at least those previous West Ham teams, they were feisty, and here I don't see that. You know, so they look completely dispirited.
Well, maybe they get feisty tomorrow, though. Like you're right, Lanzini showed no spice. I'm like, are you from a Latin country? Where's your spice? Nothing was there. Like, yeah, they looked.
He wanted to be on vacation in Argentina in June, and he has to come back and play for West Ham. He's upset.
Yeah. And then we already talked about on Wednesday, we talked about Man U versus Sheffield. Man U has to win that game. It's at home. There is no home field advantage, but we have a Pogba, we have a Rashford, and we have a Martial. They've been, at least they had one game to play together. We got to put, if we lose, then we deserve whatever position in the table we get. There is just it just is what it is. And then that's who we are, you know?
Yeah, Sheffield is a tough team because they defend well. So if you break them, you break them. If you don't break them, it's 0-0.
Well, they lost to Newcastle. They lost to Newcastle because their defender got 2 yellows. So then they went down to 10 men, and that's when Newcastle was able to break them down and beat them 3-0. So
I think they have the most clean sheets from any team in the Premier League this season. So their strategy is pretty clear. You know, they're very compact defensively. They will be without their goalkeeper.
Yeah, but we will.
Right.
But we will be the best. Yeah, we will have our best attackers that we've ever faced them with. So, yeah, they're going to compact. They're going to try to spring on us, but we can break them down. I just wonder what Solskjaer is going to do tomorrow as far as his starting. Do on Wednesday as far as the starting 11, but we'll see. Liverpool, Crystal Palace. You expect Liverpool to beat Crystal Palace? Because they're kind of difficult.
Yeah, but if they don't beat Crystal Palace, that means that they're not ready, you know. They'll still win the title, but they have to win those games. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I think they have to get their shit together, Liverpool, just in case they end the season prematurely, because maybe, like, I see players hugging each other after they score goals, and I'm like, Liverpool, like, somebody, it's like, if a big COVID case breaks out, they're gonna shut this shit down. So take care of this shit as soon as possible. If I'm Klopp and I'm the coach in Liverpool locker room, I'm like, first of all, don't touch each other, and number two, well, they didn't score any goals to have to touch each other, so that's good. But just number two, we have to take care of our business, because we don't know how long the league is going to go. Like, that practice game with Manchester United, and I think, what team was that? Got canceled?
Stoke.
Stoke a week or two ago because the coach had COVID. You can't take no chances, man. You got to handle your business. And then, because if you don't, and they cancel the league, they're going to like, we gave you a chance.
Yeah.
So, and that's pretty much it. I'll do the standings. Liverpool is number 1, 83 points. Man City, number 2, 63 points, a whole 20 points behind. Leicester is number 3 with 54 points. Chelsea is number 4 with 51 points. Man United is 5th with 46 points. We are behind Chelsea. I don't think we'll catch them either. Tied with us, Sheffield is number 7 with 44 points. Tottenham is number 8 with 42 points. Let me see if you can still see me. Can you still see me?
No.
Martin?
No, I can see you.
There?
Yeah, I'm there.
Hello?
Hello, hello.
You there?
I'm there. Hello, hello.
Yeah.
I was there.
You were there? Why
Yeah.
didn't you answer?
I was answering.
How? What, sign language?
No, I was saying, yes, I'm there. Yes, I'm there.
I didn't hear anything, so I just reset the thing again.
Okay.
All right, so we was getting to the good part. Arsenal is 8th with 42 points. You're still not that far behind. I mean, Tottenham is 8th with 42 points. Crystal Palace is 9th, right behind Tottenham with 42 points. Arsenal is 10th with 40 points. Burnley is 11th with 39 points. Everton is 12th with 38 points. Newcastle is 13th with 38 points. Southampton is 14th with 37 points. Brighton is 15th with 32 points. Watford is 16th with 28 points. They're out the relegation zone. Nigel Pearson might have saved his team. Maybe. We'll see. West Ham is 17th with 27 points. Bournemouth is 18th. Eddie Howe with 27 points. They're in the relegation zone, the deportation zone. They get out of the fucking Premier League zone. Aston Villa is 19th with 26 points. Still have a chance to get out. Norwich is 20th, just like floating like a dead turd on the bottom of the ocean with 21 points.
Three quick points. First, Steve Bruce is fighting like a lion for his job for the next season. You know, the Newcastle, obviously, they will have some major changes coming, and they'll probably have a lot of money to buy players, and they'll probably be one of the better teams next season. But Steve Bruce is fighting like a lion for his job. He doesn't want to get dismissed. He wants to make an impact. So watch out for Newcastle, because, you know, he's determined to keep his jobs, and so are the players. The players want to keep their jobs. Second point, whoever goes down, they'll be in massive trouble, because if they lose the Premier League TV money, and if the teams that got relegated, they will get relegated because of the new economy, and I would say those clubs might be in trouble who get relegated longer term than usual. And Watford, Nigel Pearson seems to be the guy. He seems to be the savior. They were dead last,
right,
with a huge ground to make up around like November, early December, and they're scrapping those points, and they're not really better on paper than Bournemouth or West Ham or Aston Villa. I would say they're probably the second worst team based on just on the roster, and they like get it done.
Yeah, they're like the West Ham that's kind of working out. They're the West Ham that's trying. Even though they don't match, they're like, all right, we can get something out of this. Like they're the West Ham that will get something out the bone. Like even though there's no meat on the bone, they'll get the marrow out of that shit. So yeah, I'll give Nigel Preston that job. And as far as Bruce, it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna get fired. They got money, and they're gonna get a high class coach. And the one thing about that they were very offensive. They scored some good goals. And I was looking at St. Maximum. Like, he's the type of player Liverpool would buy off Southampton or Newcastle, like, in the last few years. So, like, if you're a top team in the league, even Manchester United, you look at a St. Maximum, like, put him on a team. Like, he's creative. And if you don't want to spend a lot of money, but get a quality player who can change the game, he's that dude. But Newcastle has money now, so maybe they'll be able to hold on to him. We'll see. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here? Before my internet fucks things up anymore?
No, just watch for those who are at home. Watch The Hunt, read 442, and play Call of Duty. If you play Call of Duty, Kruger is the guy.
Kill Kruger.
By the way, I watched your show on TBS yesterday, so you're on TV.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you get a chance, watch Tournament of Laughs. It's on TBS. Download the app. It aired last night. I think it's gonna come on every Sunday, but download the app or just go to tbs.com. Look for Tournament of Laughs. You can watch the show, and it's like a NCAA bracket tournament for comic versus comic, and you're gonna move up the bracket until you get to the last two. And the comics are gonna do stand-up, sketches, song parodies, or just anything funny. I've done some sketches, so let's see how far I go. I'll take your vote, and I'll deliver some funny shit. So check that out. And yeah, thank you, Aaron Brungardt, for delivering again. No, thank you to the internet that's been shitty on my behalf. Thank you, Martin.
Is Aaron still on the call?
Who?
Aaron?
Yeah, I'm here.
Still in. Yeah.
Oh, Aaron, I want to just ask you before we finish. There was some major vote in baseball, and they didn't agree, right? So the season will not happen. Looks like.
I mean, I haven't seen it as today, but I know the owners are sticking with like 60 games as the max they're gonna allow to play.
So that was voted out an hour ago.
Yeah, the players don't want to do that. Yeah.
And
they don't want to do what?
Votes down MLB's offer.
Yeah, they don't want to play. They want to play more than 60 games. They're getting their full salary either way, but they want to play more games.
All right.
And the MLS, I was looking at, they have this tournament that they want to do in Orlando at the ESPN complex.
And it's also in danger because today there was supposed to be another tournament for the female teams, and the Orlando team withdrew because of coronavirus outbreak. The players got sick. The female players, for the local team in Orlando. And basically, right now in Orlando, it's one of the hottest spots in United States in terms of the coronavirus outbreak. And they technically have NBA scheduled there and MLS scheduled there. So I don't know. It's also in jeopardy. Plus, on top of that, a lot of NFL players, when they started, training together a little bit, a lot of NFL players got positive for coronavirus. So there might be no sports in America for one.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what's up. Everybody, love you. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. And we'll see you next week. Or not next. Well, there's soccer all week, but we'll probably do this again on Monday. All right. Thanks, Martin. Thanks, Aaron. All right. Peace, y'all.